Welcome guys. Sorry for the bit of late. I had a couple of races I was doing. Um so I'm currently doing that I was doing that a while ago, so this is why I'm hopping on stream as late as I am right now. Hopefully you guys remember what happened last week where the game kinda crashed and I was like, ugh. Crashed in the last minute, but that's okay. We're back today. So gonna head back to Brazil to do that race, and then try to figure out some other stuff after, especially like, go over back to my telemetry. I'm gonna try to use GT based tracks. So I'm definitely gonna use Spa for one of them. I know that for sure. So let's go back on Interlagos. First, let's change a car. Where is it? This one. Yeah, because this is a race I was doing before. And obviously you guys saw it ended, so yeah, let's do this race really quick, and then it's 2 laps obviously, and then from this race we're gonna head into doing some more track analyzation with different cars. I'm gonna try to use my best to use a GT car, but I'm gonna use my the Ferrari and the Nissan GTR. I don't think I'll be able to go on I'm gonna try to go on a few tracks, but I want you guys to enjoy this race first, and then from this race we'll get into some fun details, so enjoy. Sorry about that, guys. We're having a little technical difficulties. Should be fixed right now, so enjoy it. Yeah, guys, this car is so hard to control. Like, if I speed too much, I give it a little bit too much gas, I will spin. Honestly, I think I prefer driving the Super Formula car on this track. I'm just gonna give you guys, I'm gonna do another race where I might do a Super Formula, and I'm definitely gonna try to drive it. But I might do the Super Formula on Spa instead of here, even though I like Interlagos. Hello, thank you for joining the stream. Hope you enjoyed today's stream. Lots of fun. Might not win this race actually, because the other car is like 3 seconds out of me. Thanks for joining. Hope you enjoy it. Yeah, no, like I said, this car is very, very delicate drive. Very already in the second lap already, and I'm kind of not driving proper. I'm about to be in 5th for full place. If I pass this car, I'll be in 4th. But in Spa, I'm not gonna drive this in Spa. I'm gonna drive the Super Formula in Spa. I'll do the same thing like what I did. Nope, no! Oh my god. Like I said, you give this car a little bit too much gas and you spin out. I tried my best. Give the car a little bit too much gas, man. You spin. Better than being last, right? Better than being last. But yeah, this car is very difficult to drive. You have to actually give it a kick for it to drive. So it's very tricky for me to drive. I'm gonna show you guys up until I spin out the first time. And after I spin out, we continue to the next part of the video. I don't have a new special livery to show you guys with the Super Formula. So it's very special to me. It's new. It's new because it's new for the year. That's what I would say. Here goes the spin. Not this turn, but the next one. The car is fast, but there it is. Too much throttle. When you give this car a little bit too much overspin, you lose the rear, and that's it. Which is beyond crazy. All you gotta give is a little wheel spin or a little bit too much throttle and you spin out. So let's head to Spa, like I said, and we're gonna do a test of Super Formula. But before I show you guys the Super Formula car, actually, wait, let me go back first and show you guys the Super Formula this way first. And then after, you guys get a better idea of what I mean by surprise livery for the car. So let's go here. So check this out. Alright, here we go. Let's do this. Just had to stop and watch a quick video because it was kind of funny. So let's head right into that car. Super Formula, we're doing it 2020. Guys, look at this livery. What does this livery remind you of? Doesn't this remind you of something that we recently saw like a couple weeks ago, a few days ago? Doesn't this look like the new Red Bull livery on the 2026 Formula 1 car, in this case the RB22? Doesn't that look like it right there? It looks just like it. Or I try to find one that looks exactly like it, but yes. Looks like the Red Bull RB22. So this is what we're going to be taking to Spa. So I'm gonna go over my telemetry with this one, and with this one. So how should I do it? Let's do it from track circuit, because I have to do it from here so I can I can always delete times or add time if I need to. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. So because tonight is more like the same, like similar to like last week's video, or yeah, basically same thing to like last week's video, because last week's video was very similar to what I am doing right now. So let's head here. No, let's head to track circuit. So I'm gonna do, we're gonna do the regular layout, morning, no rain. Let's do afternoon actually. Yeah, this car is very fast around here. It's Super Formula, not Formula 1, Super Formula. And if you're wondering what's closest to Formula 1 with this is what you will see in Formula 2 in the F1 world. It's the representation of the F2 car. Different front and rear wing though. Definitely, I'll tell you that for sure. So currently this car, I have the fastest I'm on track with it, which is like a 2 minute and 2 minutes and 2 seconds, 0.8. So let's run it again. So enjoy this lap. I'm gonna try my best to go as fast, and yeah guys, check out the new livery. This is the new livery, so I'm gonna do a slow start so you guys can get a better idea what this. And look, it has Max's new race number too, right? His new number 3. So yeah, enjoy it guys. And if you guys are wondering, I am starting to drive it out the race line now, because I have a pretty good idea where the lines are on track, so I don't even need the race line, because I was using it before as a guide to help me. But honestly, in Gran Turismo, I don't think I need it anymore. I can drive without it because I practically know a lot of the tracks that I drive on, and it's not hard to drive without it, to be honest. I just corner it differently. Well, no, I don't really corner it differently. I just corner more on my own. And like I said, guys, this is a Super Formula car, or in other words, F2. Still a very fast car, though. Very, very fast. You guys are seeing how I'm taking some of these turns. It's a little bit different than how I take some of these turns with a GT car. Well, in this case, a GT3 car, but same thing. I'm not beating my time though. Yeah, I'm not beating my own lap time. My actual lap time on this track with this car is 2 minutes and 2 seconds. But I just did it 2:06. Let's try this again. for the third round, I'll give you guys in cockpit. So, one a little bit wide in that corner, so I might lose a few lap time because I went too wide in that corner. A little bit too wide. I just got maybe one down. Alright guys, enjoy this one. No commentary for this guys, that was such a bad lap. I did a 210. Let's back up and look at them like this, and then after you guys look at it like this, I will be right back. So, and I can always rewind. So give me 2 seconds and then we can get to it. Alright guys, so we're back, so let's go right into this lap. Yeah guys, so basically I basically literally slowed down just to show you guys the front of the car. So let me go back like a few seconds. I slowed down so I can show you guys the front of the car. This is Max's new, this is the Red Bull's new livery, and this is what Max's new race number look like, so enjoy the race guys. The way this car takes corners is unbelievably so smooth. And it's faster. I was kind of lifting and coasting a little bit because I didn't fully send it, because I'm still learning this track in Gran Turismo, how to like push it. Because in the F1 I can push this track no problem, but in Gran Turismo it's harder to push because I have to actually, you know, brake a little bit better. So my braking on spot with this car, it's not bad, but it could be better. Cause look how I'm taking that corner. I took that corner really good. This one too. Some of the corners that I've taken here, I take some really great corners in this track. So like it's a bit tricky to see. But when I go to the telemetry data, you guys will understand a little better. Yeah, I went too wide in that corner. That's why I went off on the apex. And I didn't go wide enough in this corner, which absolutely makes no sense whatsoever there. So yeah, this was so tricky. So basically, see if I can give you guys other view. Yeah, this view. Hello man, how are you doing? Bonjour, comment ça va? Good to have you back. Ah, here we go. Look at me going up Spa. You know how amazing it is to go up Spa when you said I can get in this view pass. Woo! Look at that. That was absolutely amazing. That was absolutely amazing. Oh, that's good, that's good, that's good. Yeah. I definitely could do a little bit. Oh, the angle on that was nice. That's why I like showing like in this angle, because the angle, the cinematic view has some great angles. I don't remember what car I was driving, but it had I think it was the Ferrari, and it had some really good angle of the car, a shot of the car. That was yeah, that looks nice. And by the way, just going off on the curb as much as I did in this lap on the apex, yeah, like there I went way off. Yeah, that's how you lose time in a race. You can lose a lot of you lose traction, you lose speed, and you lose time because of that. I pushed the car a little bit too hard and I pushed it too wide. And then here, obviously going into the last turn, I went a little bit too wide. Look at that. Nah, but I think in lap 3 I went even more wide. Yeah, in lap 3 I went even more wide. I want to try something. As soon as I hit Rouge, going into red and I'm on the areas. Look at that amazing view. Wait, back up, back up. I just saw something really interesting. Guys, so I was skidding going up Rouge right after I get out of Rouge. Look at my front tires. You guys see how much the tires barely move? When I was skidding, I skidded a little bit and the tires just adjusted a little bit to turn a little bit so you can get, see here as well, look at the turning mechanism on those front wheel tires. It does not take a lot for these cars to turn, so you can actually see the turning mechanism on the wheel. Does not take a lot. It's as simple as that. So yeah. But since this one's a bit played out, this one had a little bit more mistakes in it. But oh, I jumped to second. Let's go over the data entry stuff here. So let's see what I can do. So I'm gonna try my best to go over the telemetry as simple as I can be on this track. So am I comparing it to anything? No, at the moment I cannot. So let's just compare my first and second lap, because my second lap is where. Okay, give me 2 seconds, guys, and I'll go over this for you guys. So. Okay, so let's do this. So as you guys can see here, the way I go into turn 1, I kind of cut the corner right as soon as I can. So instead of going super wide when I get here, I stay a little bit in the middle. Because we're like, you can't really see the apex line too much, but just like a little bit off, like from the edge of the racetrack line, the apex curb is there, so you can't really see the bumpage. Like, I can try to see if I can show it from this. Like, I'll show you guys from a different view after the apex line, so you guys can get a better idea of it. So, and then going up, and then go to the straight, going up Radion and Eau Rouge right about here. Yep, there it is. Very fast. So I tend to brake right as I'm going up into Radion and slowly braking again and just send the car through. And then down the straight. So as you guys can see, I'm gonna unpause it so you guys can see. It's so much harder here. Let me zoom in a little bit better here. So you see here, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Pause it and then zoom out. So as you guys can see here, don't mind the top, just mind the bottom right now where I'm showing you guys the track. So this part of the track right here, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit better. As you guys can see, when I come into here, I have to slow down roughly after this line right here is the sector line. So basically where I'm at the sector line right now, right? When I pass the sector line, I slow down all the way going into the corner. So right around here, I'm braking, and then I push again. Then when I get to the corner, braking, and then one more turn, braking again. And then soon as I get out of this corner, a lot of times when I get out of this corner, right into the corner of that, I try to go on the inside, because if I go too much on the outside, as you guys can see, I will go close to the apex. Right now, the car is maybe one finger length away from the apex. I can't really zoom in too much. I'm gonna try my best to zoom in as much as I can here without distorting the image. Um, as you guys can see, like I'm maybe like like a car's length maybe away from the apex, which is not even that much to say, but it's still a lot to say that I'm like very, very, very far from the apex. I'm very close to the apex. So with that being said, let's continue right into the rest of it. So like I said, the car is pretty fast going into those turns, and you guys will see the difference in lap 2, how I go through some of these turns a bit faster and a bit cleaner. Yeah, so my braking with this car is relatively very fast, as you guys can clearly tell. So let's see from okay, yeah, from this view, let's see if I can change. Where is it? Not this one. Okay, so you guys can see my RPMs are really going up. Where the darker spots are, I guess, is where the RPM is a bit more crazier there. So let me see if I can go on the second one. So yeah, you guys can see here. Look at my I want to go to the braking, so you guys can see the difference of braking in this game compared to compare with how I usually brake. Because as you can see, some of the lines are a bit more faster and upper, and the throttle in like first part of the lap is like I'm pushing, giving it speed, going through a couple of straights, give it a little bit of throttle, and then as I go through like the slight turns, you can see there's a little bit more throttle. So I'm gonna restart it. So as you can see, I'm about to go through turn 1. There's a lot of throttle in turn 1, and then as you see, I push to go up a rouge. There's not much throttle because it's like a straightaway, right? And then when I go up a rouge, there's a little bit of braking, a little like, you know, it's a little bit different pushing through already on an erosion down the straight. So the braking is a little bit more different there. So it's a bit I have to really push the car a little bit differently. So what I'm gonna show you guys next for that one is basically I'm gonna show you the with the GT car so you guys can get the difference. But I'm gonna show you guys with 2 different GT cars actually. Let me do with the GTR first, and then the GTR is a bit trickier to drive on this track, but I'm gonna try with the GTR first, and then from the GTR to the Ferrari. So give me a second. Here we go. Same idea. Been a couple months since I drove this car, so been a very, very long time. This is my OG GT3 car back before the Ferrari came out. And I was trying to discover a couple others. Okay, actually, wait a minute. I gotta change. Whoa. Sorry for cutting the broadcast here, guys. My hand clicked the wrong button. I need to change my tires with this car because I'm currently on hard tires. I want to switch it to medium tires so it'll be easier. It was on hard tires. I want to switch it to hard tires so it'll be easier to drive and compare on track. Here we go. Because with the GTR is so much harder to drive on this track than the Ferrari. Yeah, this one is a bit more harder to drive. And you guys can see the difference, obviously, the difference of Super Formula and GT3 cars. You can see the difference of speed, because the GT3 cars is a bit obviously slower, but for road cars on a Formula 1 track like this, they take a lot more apex than the Super Formula car tend to not take as much apex, but take apex in like specific corners of the track. Like, I took that corner flat out with this car, but not every car I will be able to take that corner flat out with. Same thing with this one. I slowed down a little bit, but I went through it a little bit, not flat out, but I went through it with a little bit more speed than I would normally go through that corner with a different car. And you guys are gonna see from the angle when I show you the cinematic mode, you guys are gonna see how I take the apex. And then when I go to the data telemetry, you're gonna see the difference of the car there. So I tried to take this corner all the way through, but try to take in that corner all the straight through in a GT3 car is proving very difficult so far. Gotta brake a little going into the corner, so let's do this. And as I tell you guys on the third lap, I will go into cockpit, so you guys can get a better view of my driving style from inside the cockpit, as always. And in the cockpit mode, I usually go no commentary, and then give you guys commentary like right at the end of the lap. But this car, honestly, I've driven it a few times on here. It has got, I think I've gotten a little bit better driving it on, or driving Spa, so it might not be as difficult to drive the GTR on here as it did in the past. Yeah, but it's definitely gotten a little bit easier to drive the GTR here. I went a little bit wide here. Yeah, I'm taking a little bit too much apex. Yeah, because as you guys can see, my delta time is currently red right now. It's that little number thing right above the hood. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's red. Maybe when I go into cockpit, you guys can see it a little bit better. There we go. So as soon as I cross that line, we're going into cockpit. Enjoy this lap. Ah, come on. Sorry guys, wrong button again and again. When I'm playing in the dark, I tend to not see these buttons as well as I should. So uh so I'm just gonna go through this again, so they're in cinematic mode, so you guys can get a better idea of how I drive this car. And you guys can hear when the gear switches go down and when I give it gas. Like the thing about I like about the GTR, you can truly tell when it's switching gears, and when I'm like in a high gear and when I'm in a low gear, you can truly hear it. Because you can hear what this thing backfires a lot, so you can definitely hear when I go down a gear. On the second lap, I'm gonna show you guys a front view like how I did before with the other car with the Super Formula. So on the front view, but as you guys can see here how I'm taking a little bit of the apex on this car. I take a little bit more apex and I go a little bit more wide with the GT car, with the GT3 cars. You guys are gonna see the same, like similar driving style with the Ferrari as well. Yeah, see? Let me, when I go to the data, I'll explain that, or a little bit after. I'll pause it so you guys can see, because one of those turns I went through really slower than normal. Right around here, yeah, that was a good turn. I tried to push it all the way through, but I think I brake. Yeah, right here is where I try to send it all the way through, but then I had to brake before coming inside and crash. Front brakes is hot. So in this view, you guys are gonna see how the car turns in the sun. The car, like the way I turn this car, like is really smart. As you guys can see, it's a bit more trickier to turn going up Radon and Rouge. You guys can see the difference of how I go into those apexes and go out of them than with the Super Formula. I don't take the apex the same. Well, obviously you can't take the apex the same because, you know, if you try taking the apex the same, you're definitely gonna go crash. You're definitely crashing, or we're gonna end up in a wall. Look at the inside apex on this. I barely touch it, and look at the inside apex on this. I touched that one, so I can gain more speed on the way out. And this one here, I don't touch it, but I try my best not to touch the apex coming out of those two corners. Even this one here, I have to touch it so I can slow down a little bit. So, because you guys hear the back of the car skidding a lot, so it's because I braked late, so the back of the car is skidding a lot. So going through a lot of these turns, I have to be very careful, especially if I late braking, like here. Because I braked so late, the car slid a lot and I went up on the apex. I have to be able to go through some of those corners a bit more smoother than I do. So, because I'm screeching too much tires. So, yeah. So we're gonna go over the data with this again, and hopefully you guys can see the difference. So right after I finish this lap, we're gonna go to the data. Alright. Time to go over the data stuff. Just give it a second to load in and generate it, and then we can go over it. I'm gonna try to see if I can go over both of them, if it lets me. Actually, let's put it all the way back to start. Okay, let's see. Is it gonna allow me to? No, so it would not allow me to load. It allows me to load up the data for the GTR as well. So for this one, I'm gonna switch it to the second lap instead of the first. So pause it. So the difference here, and I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can see. Switch this to. Nope, so leave it on this one so you guys can see, and I'll explain a little bit different after. So right here, let's go. So as you guys can see, two different lap compared to lap 1 and lap 2. I was a bit off. I changed my lines a little bit because lap 1 was faster, so I don't know why I changed the line. Lap 1 is in blue, lap 2 is in yellow. So you can see in lap 1 how my line was faster going up rouge. For some reason, I switched my lines. Thought the car was going to be faster going up on that side of the track. So what I ended up doing there was just making the car a bit like slower, because on the blue line was way faster for some reason. I don't know why I went on the orange line. So I changed my lines when I go up. Because the thing, right, when I'm lapping like this, I tend to not stay steady and change my lines a little bit too often. So it's a bit harder to catch. Because the thing is, right, I can only learn where my lines are when I look at the data compared to when I'm driving on track. Because even with the race line, I was like, I think by looking at blue feel like is I'm following the race line a little bit, and yellow like I'm veering off the race line, so you guys can really tell where like look, let me go back on that. Look how wide I went into this turn compared to when I did it with my with my first lap, with the second lap. So the first lap I went wide here. That's why the gap is not that much. So let me pause it and go through it. Look at the gap already. The gap was already like what? Like 52 seconds. And then as I go through that corner, right? The yellow goes on the outside, the blue goes on the inside, right? The gap increases. So as you guys can see here, right about here, you guys see how far wide off the apex I was in the yellow? The yellow was literally almost off the track, and the blue was like maybe more to the right of the track, and I was still on the track, but I wasn't as wide as the yellow. But then now the yellow cut back, and I didn't catch back the same line as the blue, which was a bit crazy going through that corner, because I thought I went more wide in the first lap, but I guess I went more wide in the second lap. As you guys can see here again, look at the difference of line in here, because right around here-ish, I cut the blue line cuts over the yellow line, right? But the difference, the yellow line cuts over the blue, and look at where my apex, where I'm driving the car on the apex compared to the yellow line. The blue line is a bit around near the apex, and I'm turning a little bit different. The yellow line, I went even wider. So you guys can see where I started to go wide in my second run compared to my first run with the car. So it was a little bit more trickier to push. For some reason, I was pushing the car a little bit more in the second lap, so I tend to went more wide. So you guys can truly tell the difference of wideness. And let me go back here. You guys can see, let me just skip forward a little bit, come back, look at the throttle after the first sector. You guys can see the throttle line, the blue. You can see you can see a little bit more blue. Then when you get to like maybe a little bit after the sector, I think that's going into those turns. I don't like remember what turn that is, but you guys can see the yellow more than you guys can see the blue. So like right around here, right here, you see blue, yellow, then it goes yellow, 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 and then a little bit of blue. When it goes, the blue goes to the top of the line right here. You can see the blue at the top of the line. Look where the yellow is. Yellow's more down, so I'm putting a little bit more throttle. I was putting more gas with the second lap than I did with the first lap. And then if you look at the braking in that sector, you can hardly see the yellow in that sector because I wasn't braking as much as I was with the blue. And then when you get to the end of that corner, or close to the end of that corner going into the next turn, you can see the throttle line or the brake line where it is right there, right after the 2000, the 200 and the 2500. You can see it right at the edge of the line. But here you see a little bit of yellow when it starts, and the blue was on top, and then you see blue, and then no yellow until we head back right into that brake part. But it's a little bit more trickier to see. So yeah, so that's it for this one. I'm gonna try to run the same thing with the GTR to give you guys a bit more difference. So you guys with Ferrari, so you guys can see the difference of me pushing through. Oop, wrong car. Yeah, I switched to the wrong car. So you guys are gonna see the difference with this car compared to the other one. Sorry there guys, I had to pause that for a second. Don't worry, I will restart it. Switch from calculator mode to my normal driving mode. Here's to see how I take the apex with this car, compare how I took it with the GTR. Too much speed, not enough braking, going up Radion. So just try this lap again. I went with way too much speed going up Radion and not enough braking. So you see how fast I go up Radion and Eau Rouge with this car? Because when I get right out of Radion to go up on the straight, the car was going so fast and I didn't brake fast enough or brake in time. So the car just went straight up, spun, and hit the wall. So that's why it's very important to brake just as in the middle of leaving Rouge and then hit Radion. So right around here, you brake so you can hit the apex, and then you go into the Calabar straight, going straight down. And I'm on race mediums with this one, so that's okay. I'll give it a bit more compression because I feel like this is still faster than the GTR. So, and you can see in my apex here, I tend not to take too much apex until I'm like at this turn, because then if I don't brake early, I go wider into this corner. And then that's where I took a lot of apex to into this corner. This corner also, if I don't brake very well, I'll go very wide, but as you guys can see, I didn't go as wide as I thought I would because I was, you know, humbling the car to push through the corner a little bit more. Same thing with this one, I usually go wide here because I brake too late and not enough throttle going through. So braking is very important, guys, so I tend to do a lot of late braking most of the times. So I have to get a little bit of braking, not braking too late, but braking at a decent time where I'm not overshooting turns, but just enough to slow it down and then keep my foot on the throttle and send it through. Here we go for the second run. Ooh, that was way much smoother. That was so much smoother going through there. Going through Radion and Rouge was so, well, Rouge and Radion because Rouge is before. So much more smoother. Less sliding and more turning. So I took the apex on that turn. You guys can see how much apex I took. Push all the way through here. And I'm gonna send it down the straight again, and for here I'm gonna try again to brake early so I can take the apex a little bit more, push the car through, and then send it throughout the corner so I don't wanna lose speed coming through here. And then here for the second run, I braked a little bit earlier this time, so it was a bit easier to come through that corner. And here as well too. And then just send it all the way through that corner. And like I did with all previous cars, I am going to go to the apex. I braked too late into that corner, so it's okay. I tried my best going through there without spin, but I did spin and crash, so that's okay. It happens. But I'm gonna do this one in cockpit so you guys can get an idea of me driving in cockpit. And I feel like you guys seen me driving cockpit in like in this car so many times already, but I think I enjoy driving cockpit in this car, not because I like the car a lot, well I do, but I just like the steering wheel in this car a lot more, especially when it's night, because the buttons around the steering wheel lights up. But like I said, no commentary for cockpit, so enjoy it. So yeah, guys, as you guys seen, that was a lot more trickier than I expected. My lap time was a little bit more different compared in the second lap because I spun the last minute. So that was a bit unfortunate, but just enjoy the cinematics with this car because you guys can see the difference of me driving. Because I think this car has a bit more power and a bit more weight to it than the GTR does. So you can see like how much more the car slides compared to the GTR. And I go wider in turn 1 than I do with the GTR. But going up Radeon, I feel like it was after me crashing the first time since I've mastered it. I've gone through Radeon and it was a bit more smoother. Yeah, these corners I went through very, very smooth, and I like it. See if it gives me that cinematic view that I thought it would give me. Oh man, look at that cinematic view. Look at that car go around. That is such a perfect view to see the car in front. So I guess it only gives me that view when I'm driving a Ferrari then. Because it didn't give it to me with any other cars, but yeah. So guys, look at how I try to go through some of these corners a bit different. I took a lot more apex. I think on the second lap I took more apex. Yeah. And for the purpose of this car, I was on medium tires because I just finished a race with this car. I was in sports mode and I did a race with this car recently, so the car is basically set up in how I had it when I was racing sports mode. And after this, we're gonna go to Lamont, and I'm gonna check something. So here we go. I'm gonna switch the car camera this way so you guys can see. The car is very beautiful from the front. And you guys can definitely hear that turbocharger out. Look how smooth going through those corners are. Look at your left hand corner on the right and see how I go through that corner. I take a little bit apex going through it because I went wide and skidded a little bit. And I took apex going into this one, a lot of apex because I haven't hit the barrier, but then I took more apex going into the next corner right here because I braked a little bit too late there, so kind of made the car skid a little bit more than I would like it to. I would have liked it to. So and I took a lot of apex on this part right here. As you guys can see, there was a lot of apex here. Very fast car though, but at the end I'm gonna see where the GTR lined up compared to the Nissan, compared to the Ferrari on lap times, because I wasn't really paying attention on the lap time. So in a few seconds after I do go through the data telemetry of this car, I can compare to the lap time. I think this is where I spun. Yeah. That was a very hard spin, yeah. I hit the wall and just continue with the lap. I think that's why I went for an extra lap because I spun. Yeah. But the extra lap I didn't get any improvements on time, so. Going up a rouge and right on like butter, man. Like it's beyond beautiful. And then going down the straight is absolutely amazing. Going down the straight. And here comes the best cinematic view I've ever seen on this track. Look at that cinematic view. So perfect. And as you guys can see, I rode the hell out of that apex going through that corner. So right after this, we're not going to go over to the fourth lap. So right after this lap, we're going to go over to the data telemetry, and then I am going to head to the Le Mans 24-hour track to do a couple speed tests to see which car is faster between this one, the GTR, and a Porsche in the same class. I came through here a lot better this time around. Yeah, I came through there better. Alright, so let's go through the data. But first look at the time. I have to show you guys it like this because you guys won't see the year. So for 2026, I had, let's say, a few points different because look at the GTR. The GTR PP is 749.51 on soft tires. I did a 2.24.2, right? And with the Ferrari, as you guys can see here, I have my PP is at 780.02. But look at the lap time. I'm on mediums. I did a 2.21. There is a slight gap in between the lap times, even though the GTR was on faster tires and has a higher RPM turbo in it, so you guys can see the difference. But the Ferrari was obviously faster in this case. So like I said, we're gonna go through the data telemetry with the Ferrari on Spa because I did it on a different track already. So with that being said, let me set that up really quick. Go to lap, let it load in. Go to lap. Yeah, lap 3 was faster. And then here we go. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. There you guys go. Look at how I go into turn one. So yellow is lap 3 and blue is lap 1. I went into turn one a little bit better in lap 1 than I did in lap 3. And as you guys can see, I veered off the line in lap 2. For some reason, I always go off the race, my initial race line. And I realized I lose a lot of speed doing that. Going up Radion on the Rouge was not bad because the speed was very consistent and the cornering was very consistent. And then going down the Cowbell Straight, I don't stay on the same race, and I was more to the edge, but then I was a bit more centered. But you see, the blue line is so much faster than but it's by maybe 1 second gap. Because here I did a 121 for the first lap, and this I did a here I did a 221, and then for the second lap I did a 222. Okay, so right here, look at the apex right here, guys. After coming down from here, going through here, look at the apex grip. I went so wide with the yellow, and the blue was so closer to the apex. And then look here again, as you guys can see, I come down. Look at the difference of wideness. I went so wide. Like the cars, I was hugging the apex on that one, and I went more middle of the track to the left side instead of on the inside on the apex. The reason why I go on the inside like that, I'm gonna tell you guys. This is because of how I drive in Formula 1. In Formula 1, when I played F1 on Spa, where the car is on the yellow line, that is my defensive line that I use when I defend in F1. So I feel like I'm taking some of my F1 driving lines on these F1 tracks that I did when I was playing Formula 1. So you can tell the difference, because this line, the yellow line, that is my defensive line. So let me zoom out a bit more so you guys can see. Yeah, look at the gap. So let me go forward a little bit. Look at the gap. The gap is literally like 8 something in, like, going out the corner, right? At like in the middle or going out the corner, it's like 891 seconds gap. So the yellow line is my defensive line that I usually do in F1 when I was racing, and then the blue line is my typical non-defensive race line. So it really shows a difference of my driving style there. And then I come back together to break in the similar spot. A few off by a few hundredths of a second. And then here, this surprisingly was very close. They were neck and neck going into that corner, as you guys can see them. And then my brake, I tried to brake a little bit late here, but I kept braking late with the yellow, but I braked a little bit better with the blue, because you can see how much the blue line went over on that turn and the difference there. Yeah, you can see the difference. So, and going through here, obviously I'm not gonna show that one because in lap 2 is gonna show me taking a nice spin going through this part of the track. Or is it in this lap? I don't remember. No, it was in lap 2. I took a really hard spin there. But just for the sake of the video, I want to see what it looks like on the telemetry. Okay. So for that, let's see, that is went too far back. Right here. See? Look at that blue line for the second lap. I went so far because I braked. Let me zoom in a little bit. I braked a little bit too late. So I locked up and I went so far into the corner that I went off track and I spun. But look at how I met back up with that race line so quick. But I was already 2 seconds off that lap time, so obviously you can see the difference of time there with that, with the second lap compared to the third lap. But yeah, so let's switch this back to the first lap. Look at some more data here. Yeah, look at my throttle and braking here, guys. As you guys can see, it was so much more different. I have a lot more throttle braking, a lot more throttle with the yellow than I did with the blue. Because as you guys can see here in the middle, let me go for it a little bit. Right around, let's say here, there's a lot more yellow. There you can see how much more I put in the throttle. And the braking is the same thing, like just a little bit before. You guys can see the braking here as well. There's more yellow here in the same spot, like a few seconds after with the throttle and the braking. The differences, you guys can see them, and the RPMs were very similar. Nope. Let me see here. I can show the gear difference. Yeah, I took a lot more gear with the blue than I did with the yellow. And yeah, definitely see a lot more of the car. But yeah, so that was basically it for the telemetry. I don't really go through the whole lap because I typically just go through specific corners of the track. So we're gonna head to Le Mans and do a speed test, and this speed test is gonna be a mix of three cars: Nissan GTR, the Ferrari 296, and a Porsche. And by the way, very special livery helmet. This helmet was designed for a specific person. They know who they are. Love the helmet design. Also love the name on the back of it. Yeah, no, I specifically designed that for a specific person. I love the way I designed it. It was pretty cool though. Awesome. So yeah, let's head over to Le Mans. 24 hours de Le Mans racetrack. Let's head to it really quick. So time trial. Let's go no chicane because I'm really curious to see the track with the chicane, without the chicane, to see the speed on these cars. And I'm gonna try to say try to see if I can see the speed difference and the time difference with these cars. And to see, because I'm still trying to figure out which car is faster, and it's so challenging to figure out what's the best GT3 car for me personally, even though I've been running the last two GT cars I've been running lately have been the Ferrari, as you guys can see here, and also the Nissan GTR prior to that. So I'm gonna run that one first, and then I'm gonna run the Ferrari, then the Porsche. Make sure I am on soft tires for this. Let me switch out a few other things first on this. Am I driving? Oh, that's why my supercharger wasn't. That's why the car was slower, because the supercharger wasn't normal. Everything was in normal. Even my racing transmission was in normal. Yeah, my ECU, everything was in normal. No wonder the car was a little bit slower than normal. But I can't really switch much or add much onto this one, unfortunately. And wow, top speed for this thing is really low. Put it at 340. Bring it up a little bit. So let's run it and see which is faster. And for this one, because I've had more time on the one with the chicane. This one is no chicane because You see that line where it's so long all the way up to that corner at the top? I want to see how fast the cars are. So let's head right into it. I'm curious to see how fast this car is. And for the purpose of these, I'm gonna do one lap each and review the one lap. So no data analyzation, but just the analyzation of the lap in cinematic mode. So one lap each car, and I'm gonna clock the top speed at the end of the straight when I have to brake. So here we go. This is it. Let's see how fast this car goes and how fast it tops out at. So this is a straight car, no chicane, straight going all the way down. I want to see where the GTR tapped out compared to the Ferrari. I'm already hitting 300. Just climbing. It's climbing. Let's see if it hits 320. Climbing. Still climbing, almost at 330. It's looking like it is essentially taps out at like, okay, it's pushing still actually. I'm in 6th gear right now. It looks like it taps out between like 327 and like 329. Because as you guys can see, I was truly pushing the car. So the top speed is between like 327 to 329 when the car taps out. That's not bad. I've always thought this car was faster. But yeah, nah. That went a bit as I expected it to go. Okay, so we have 3 more pointers to go, and then we'll look at the replay. Ooh. That's okay. I already did the test of speed where I wanted. I'm gonna lose a bit of time for that, so no doubt that's gonna be part of my loss of time. Because I spun. I was trying to save the car, but I think I might have made it a little bit worse by the way I was trying to save it. So maybe let's see, 342. So I did a 342 with that one. Let's see how the lap went. And just to see how fast this car was going down on the straight. So let's enjoy this. I was going through the corners pretty well though. Here we go. Look at right after this turn. Look at all that speed now. So yeah, the car taps out at like between 327 and 329. And guys, this one is no chicane, so instead of going around the chicane, it just goes straight. Even past the second chicane as well. Yeah. So GTR has a significant amount of speed. I was hoping to break that. It will break that 330 limit, even though I was redlining the car going down the stretch. Still a very fast car. Very, very fast. Oh guys, thank you for joining. Right now we're in the middle of like a speed test, so I'm checking the speed of the GTR, the Ferrari. This is the Nissan GTR Nismo 2019, I believe, and then I'm going to be checking the Ferrari 296 GT3 2023, and then a Porsche. I don't remember the Porsche 911. I don't remember the rest of the name and the year. But yeah, the GTR didn't do so bad until my happen spin right here. So as my wheel touched the gravel, I knew I was gonna spin. But I got that car back on track, or spun around pretty fast though. And I also found out why the cars have yellow light. That's a racing thing, and it has to do with seeing the GT3 cars from the LMP cars and the hypercars when they have the IMSA races. I didn't know that, and it's on all the GT3 cars. Is it gonna show the car in the frame? No, you just heard it, which is funny. Okay, so I did a 342 with this one, considering the spin, so it might drop down. But that was pretty decent. So let's head to the Ferrari now. Go through some spec details again with this car. Make sure it's where I want it to be. My RPM is mid. Put that back on high RPM. What else did I change? Put this back to 340. Everything is great. Let's do it. I'm excited for this part. I'm curious to see this thing with no chicane. With no chicanes in Le Mans, see how fast it goes. And I'm gonna be counting the top speed as I'm going down on the straight. I'm gonna call it out as I see it. Honestly, I don't know if you choose me, but driving this Ferrari in a month is awesome. One more turn and then the final stretch. Let's do it. Here we go. Time to send it. I hope this car goes at least 230 to at least 340, 330 or 340. I'm curious to see how fast it goes. I'm already hitting 300 at the start. Ready? Let's see how it goes. 320. 330. Ready? Come on, better hit 340, please. I'm topping out at 343. It went up again, 344. So with the bumps involved, I'm like at 345-ish. So I am essentially topping out at like 345. I'm essentially topping out at 345 on the straight. The GTR barely hit 330. Like it was like the max top out was like 329. So as you guys can see, the Ferrari went like close to 345. So the top speed varies where it tops out at, maybe it tops out at like 343 and 345, including when it was going up. When it was bumping, you can see the speed drop obviously, but yeah, as I expected it to go over 330 and it be on Weldon. So oops, my bad. Wrong button, guys. So here we go. Let's see how this car looks beautifully going down this track. And yes, guys, I'm running a Max Verstappen livery on this car because this is the exact car he was driving when he did his race at the Nürburgring a couple months ago with the exact race number. I don't know how accurate the livery is because I think this is fan made and I just borrowed someone else who made it because I don't think I can make this by hand, but it's still great. The speed of the Ferrari was to be expected. Here we go. This is it. Look at that car speeding down there, baby. Look at it go. Yeah, no, that was amazing to see. Beautiful, man. Very beautiful. One more car to go, guys, and then yeah. I feel like the Porsche is faster than both of these. I don't know why. I've driven the Porsche recently, and honestly, I feel like the Porsche is faster for some reason, but we'll see. So that one I did at 332. So like I said, considering I had to spin with the GTR, I gotta keep that in mind. And yes, this is a borrowed livery on this Porsche. Let's go through some of this stuff. High RPM, exactly where I want it to be. Alright, let's do this. Last car and end of the video. Then after this, we're gonna compare time. When I did my original research on what's the best GT3 car to get in Gran Turismo, this one was at the top of the list. For speed, I do get it, but I haven't driven it that much. As you guys can see, it only has 160 kilometers on it. Well, 161 and counting, but I haven't driven it that much compared to the others that I've driven countless more miles. Here we go. I want to see what this thing taps out at. There we go, hitting that 300 mark. Okay, yeah, so as you guys can see, it truly tops out at almost 350. It topped out at 347 until after the slight turn and bump, then it went back down to like 339, 340. So this car tops out between 346 and 347. But nah, that is as I expected. It's slightly faster than the Ferrari, by like maybe like a little bit, not as much, but just a little bit slightly faster than the Ferrari. And guys, when I look back, I'm also looking back at the car. It's look back is just the fact that like I'm so used to racing that I constantly look back. I don't know why I do, but it's a racing habit that I have. I feel like the Ferrari and the Porsche is going to be very neck and neck in terms of speed, because as you guys can see, the Ferrari went way faster than the Ferrari on the straight, even though it's only by a little bit. It's still faster. Let's see the lap time. I'm curious to see these lap times right now. Alright, that was it. Let's see the lap time. So I did a 3:30. What's the verdict? I'll check the verdict after I check this out. But this Porsche was flying though. So yeah, also guys, like I said, the livery is a borrowed livery. So this is not my own. I cannot make these liveries like this because I'm not good at designing cars like this. So hear me out when I say it's borrowed. Right, here we go, almost to that straight. About to send it right now. You can hear how sequential those gear switches are. I was already heading like the 340 mark here. They're going into like the 347 mark right here. And then as I passed the second chicane, it was like 346. With the bumping, and then as soon as I passed the second chicane, went around the corner, it dropped onto like the 339 and 340. This car is so fast. I think it beat the Ferrari by maybe like 2 seconds, maybe. A little bit of sliding coming out of that corner though. Yeah, so as you guys can see, the Porsche definitely did its thing. And yeah, man, I'm beyond excited just to get to see how fast this thing was. Cockpit is nice though. Like I said, it did the same thing similar to the GTR. Yeah, guys. So wow, by 2 seconds. Wow. Okay. Literally by 2 seconds. And look at the PP between the Ferrari and the PP difference is mad. The PP difference, um, this is power something. I forgot what the P stands for, but you can see the difference here because look at the GTR. The GTR is like a 786 .64, and then the Porsche is like a 789.86, and the GTR is 794 .07, and by 2 seconds, 2 second gap difference, you can see the speed. Yeah, a 2 second difference. Wow, fair enough. That was definitely similar to what I kind of expected, minus the spin with the GTR. So I gotta put a little bit more spin on that car to give it. And I tested out in a couple other races that I've previously raced before to see how it holds up. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with the results that I saw from that car. And yeah, guys, this was the ending of this series. I might do another one of this in the future if they add more cars, if they add more tracks, or if I feel like, you know, showing a little bit more so you guys can get a better idea of different tracks. There's a ton of tracks I can show you guys. I just pick specific tracks for you guys to do for me to do it at. Maybe in a few weeks I can do it at the Red Bull track and you guys can see the difference. Might choose different cars to do it with as well. GT3 cars aside from the Ferrari. Might use the GTR or the Porsche and maybe some other ones I have. Let's head back really quick. And just to show you guys, I'm actually trying my best. The one thing that is very hard to do in this game, and for those who like myself, who I'm only at a level 47, as you guys can see here. I don't know if it's gonna let me click on it, but I am only at a level 47. I'm gonna go over my dash for you guys. I don't really show people my dash, but I currently have 22 cars in my garage right now, and my assets in my garage right now is like $27.1 million worth of assets. It's beyond crazy. I wasn't expecting it to be that much. Um, and as you guys can currently see, my levels are 47. Um, circuit experience, I have only gotten 2 goals. I've gotten more bronze than gold. A lot more silvers than I expected. So, and I got 2 goals. For music, I've got 1 silver, all the bronze. Didn't really do much on that. For the missions, I only got 2 goals, rest silver, and more bronze. Um, and for my license right now, I am currently in my international license. I have one more time trial. The last time trial in the super license I can show you guys really quick. I'm not gonna do it tonight. Uh, this is my dash. Doesn't really show my money. Just give you guys a little update on how much I have. I currently have $12.5 million in the game at the moment, And I might add to it, because the hardest thing for me right now, seeing all this much money, is trying my best not to spend it on buying cars. Even though I will do so, I'm gonna let it grow a little bit more before I start spending. Because before I used to get up to like 6 million and then let it drop. And then let it go all the way back to like 2 million, 1 million. And I was like, you know what? Let me keep racing, get some more money, push it up, and phone cut out for a second. Yeah, my microphone cut out for a second there. Yeah, so like I was saying, I'm gonna keep racing to get more money and try to push it to, let's say, push it to 20 million. Hopefully, I can keep the urge of not buying anything or modding cars. So let's see. So yeah, like I said, I'm at 12.5 million. And for the super license, just gonna show you guys really quick, but I'm not gonna do it. I am at like my last license for. I completed the rest of these. You know, I have this one already. It's completed. I have this one. You know, I see it's completed to the end. Is it gonna show me? Yeah, it's completed. No. Let's see. Go here. National B. Completed. All these are complete. The only one I haven't completed yet is this one. Is the final exam. Once I complete this challenge with this specific car on Spa, I will get my super license. I'm holding out on that. So let's see. I need to get on it, but it's gonna take me a few hours of trial and trial and trial until I get that super license. 'Cause super license or driving to get a license were so annoying. So yeah, so that was the race for today. Um, yeah, guys, thank you for joining. I had a great time. So like I said, I might do another video similar to this one. Like at the start of the video where I was explaining the telemetry about different tracks and well, specifically more like different cars on different tracks on same track that I was driving. So in this case, today's video was more showing telemetry on. I believe I did Spa. Yeah, I think that's, yeah, I did the telemetry on Spa this time. So I might do it on another track in maybe in a couple weeks time or so. Um, and yeah, discover something new about the Porsche, that specific Porsche. Um, so yeah, thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to click that like button and the subscribe button. Guys, we are currently at 99 subs. I appreciate that. One extra subscriber to make it to 100. That'd be really greatly appreciated. And also, yeah, guys, don't forget to share the video, like the video, and enjoy. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. And I will see you guys maybe, if not Friday, next week, Wednesday, with another video. So, with that being said, stay tuned. Have a good night, good morning, or good evening, wherever you guys are in the world. Peace out.